Welcome to Let's Listen, a video podcast in which we have conversations with IBMers about their own neurodiversity and their careers within IBM. I'm Andrew Williams, your IBM host, and today we'll be listening to a very special guest, Ingrid Weiss, a test specialist within IBM, who originally joined IBM Lansing in 2018. And 2018 was the very first time I met Ingrid, and I was immediately excited by her attitude and her unrequited hunger for all things technology. And then I went on to co-present with Ingrid in 2019 at IBM Think on the topic of neurodiversity at IBM. And she never stopped helping me learn more about myself and neurodiversity. So welcome back, Ingrid. It is a real pleasure to catch up with you again.
Mm-hmm.
Can you tell us a little bit about you as a person, your personal challenges, and about you as an IBMer, an IT professional?
I describe myself as someone who loves to explore the world and how to better it from the intersection of art and technology. I've been playing around with arts and crafts and tapping away at computers for as long as I can remember. One memory that stands out is the year I asked my parents for picture and video editing software and a scanner for Christmas. Unfortunately, growing up atypical often got in the way of others seeing the value in how I was unique. Everywhere from being bullied for being weird by other kids, being seen as a problem by teachers that should have supported me, to trying and failing to convince one company after another to hire me once I did have a college degree in spite of my relevant list of skills.
Mm.
Fortunately, IBM eventually did, and I started as a test specialist at CIC Lansing, which is something I didn't originally study, but I got all sorts of training in from baseline manual testing and scripting to training and automation tools like Selenium and the Ignite quality platform. I've worked on many client projects in industries such as state government, finance, and telecommunications. I've also had the ability to grow and use with skills outside of my title. I've written documentation as a business analyst, made UI mockups with my user experience and user interface design training, developed some conversational AI, and so much more. Outside of that, I'm glad to have had the chance to advocate for neurodiversity at IBM in big ways I could never have anticipated going in.
And that's something that really excites me about listening to you is your advocacy and how you speak for your community and outside your community. So maybe you could tell me something interesting about you and your disability.
Well, one thing is that I'm learning new things about it all of the time. One fun thing I recently learned is that neurodivergent brains can generate as much as 42% more information at rest when compared to neurotypical ones. And this reality is very much a double-edged sword. It explains why I have both sensory sensitivities that can be anywhere from a minor annoyance to a hard roadblock in my daily life, and a keen eye for details that get missed by other people. It's not hard to see how this affects how I approach my work from day to day, defaulting to being more slow but methodical in how I approach my assignments. I often need a lot more literal and metaphorical space and control over the environment I do work in relative to other people. Properly accommodated, however, I'm able to focus on using my talents to not just meet expectations, but exceed and excel.
That's very interesting. So what is exciting professionally about an average day at IBM for you?
I'd say one of the biggest things is how opportunities to grow and show off your unique skills outside of your job title can come in some very unexpected and big ways. Even as was mentioned earlier by you in this interview, I was given the chance to get flown out to San Francisco for Think 2019 and be a co-speaker, as well as having a major role in the neurodiversity at work video that IBM produced at around that same time. alongside many other blogs, interviews like this one, and presentations on neurodiversity to this day. In a more recent example, I've had the chance to grow my knowledge and experience with AI, particularly around chatbots and conversational engineering. I have a lot of fun creating a project called Trouble.ai, so named because it's a chatbot and supporting features based around my beloved cat and best home office coworker, Trouble. It was a fulfilling opportunity to trailblaze new opportunity and bring my creative and technical skill together in a way that really speaks to me. In a landscape of a rapidly changing world with opportunity and danger in equal measure, I want to be one of the people on the forefront of IBM's vision for AI, where this technology is properly and ethically used to aid everyone's ability to live and work better.
So I have to ask, because I know everyone in the audience will be interested. Is Trouble around?
He is around. He's actually sitting not too far from my computer right now.
All right, maybe another time.
Maybe another time.
Yeah, maybe another time. So can you describe the hiring process for you? What happened in 2018 and how was it different? Or was it the same compared with other IBMers?
It was in 2017, but instead of a classical series of one-on-one interviews over the phone or in person, IBM brought in Specially Stern to do a special 4-week work assessment for the candidates in the initial Neurodiversity at IBM pilot. This critically meant we had the chance to show off our actual ability to work and receive feedback in real time, as well as get training in a variety of skills like programming languages, project management, working on a team, giving presentations, and general expectations of the workplace. A lot of this involved working with LEGO Mindstorm robots, which was an unexpected but fun surprise. From there, we were given more classical interviews, guidance on crafting a resume, with some immediately relevant experience we could then apply to the IBM website with.
So maybe you could share a day-to-day challenge for you as a D&I individual within IBM.
Having to adapt to sudden changes in my schedule is something that's always been a struggle for me and many other autistic and neurodiverse people. Since it requires a lot more energy by default in navigating a world largely made by neurotypicals, I, and many others, often plan out our time in some detail, make sure there's enough battery to make it through the day, the week, the month, and even the whole year. Sometimes, however, it's just not possible to have as much advance notice as I'd like due to many different reasons. Client requests and deadlines change, projects get moved around, new learning assignments and announcements for professional development requirements for the year happen after I might have already had an open window of time or a personal goal that I'd already set in place and made some progress on. This is something that's a struggle outside of my professional life too, of course, but failing to meet expectations in the realm of work can induce a lot more anxiety.
I understand. And look, unfortunately, I'd love to talk about this more, but this unfortunately brings us to the end of this very special Let's Listen podcast. I'd really like to thank you, Ingrid, for your time today. And to anyone who's listening to this, if you have any questions, feel free to post it below. Otherwise, you can find more information about neurodiversity at ibm.biz/let's listen. And as always, thanks for listening to us today at IBM. And thank you, Ingrid.